Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. My name is Deacon Joe. I'm the deacon at Holy Cross Catholic Church. Father Mike Marini is still on hiatus. He's still escaping the smoky air of Santa Cruz. But today we have a treat because reflecting today will be Deacon Randy Pozos, who most of you will know from his years at Holy Cross, and he is currently serving as deacon at Our Lady Star of the Sea. So Deacon Randy, how are you today?
Okay. A week from Saturday, my daughter Rose is getting married. So
congratulations.
Thank you. It'll be an outdoor service, and there'll be 14 people. So a big change for us. Normally standard wedding size in either family, the Pozos or Kathy's family, is about 125 to 150. And before the quarantine, Rosie was trying to figure out how to get it down under 100. But it'll be 14 of us. So, and I'll be officiating. My grandson Mike will be doing cello. My son Raphael will be doing the bass, and Kathy will be the soloist. So it will be a family production.
I love hearing that. I know that in previous generations they had the wartime weddings where things were much more modest than we'd like to have them. I think we're going to look back to 2020 and the quarantine weddings and the modesty we had on those. How's Star of the Sea doing right now? I'm so in Holy Cross land that how are y'all doing over there?
Well, we have some big problems. An awful lot of our parishioners work in hospitality industry, in hotels and restaurants, and they're unemployed. But people scrambling to try and pay the rent. They're borrowing from friends and family. Concerned about the moratorium, for evictions. We have an awful lot of older people too who are at home and not really on social media or into doing this type of video thing. So a lot of challenges, but the parish is rising to meet them in a lot of different ways. It's interesting, as close as the two parishes are, the San Lorenzo River is sort of like a portal across universes, right? And so the Holy Cross multiverse is quite different from Star of the Sea. They're, to me as an anthropologist, they're strikingly different cultures, so I'm enjoying it. It's when I transferred, I did a wedding rehearsal one night at Holy Cross, and then they had the rehearsal dinner in the hall at Star of the Sea. And Holy Cross is this magnificent, beautiful campus, right? And I got to Star of the Sea, which is this little neighborhood church. And I got out of my car and I feel like I could just embrace the whole parish. So it's wonderful. I enjoy it. Kathy and I had an insurance agency around the corner from Star of the Sea for many years. So I can tell you where all the bad roofs are and the troublesome dogs in the neighborhood.
Thank you. I definitely know the church that comes out of 2020 will be very different than the church that entered 2020.
Yeah.
I think we're seeing a lot of the challenges in our communities and our parishes, but I think we're learning now as a church really how to respond to those needs. I pray that we really come together to serve all of our parishioners and all of our community in Santa Cruz. So let us take a moment together to be silent and to prepare ourselves to hear God's good news and holy word. The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke.
Glory to you, O Lord.
While he was going through a field of grain on the Sabbath, Jesus' disciples were picking the heads of grain, rubbing them in their hands, and eating them. Some Pharisees said, "Why are you doing what is unlawful on the Sabbath?" Jesus said to them in reply, "Have you not read what David did when he and those who were with him were hungry? How he went into the house of God, took the bread of offering, which only the priest could lawfully eat, ate of it, and shared it with his companions. Then he said to them, 'The Son of Man is Lord of the Sabbath. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. Well, and there you have it. Um, this fellow I know over in Nazareth, I had him come and do some work on my house, and I heard that he's gone out and he's become this minister, and he has this following. And they came by the field, and they just took some grain on the Sabbath. And a nice guy, but he says he's God. I think we hear this reading so often we don't really realize that that's the way it comes across. That Jesus is saying something. It's a very short passage, but very powerful, because he's talking about David, right? King David did this, and so I can do it, right? So what is he saying? And more than that, I am the Lord of the Sabbath. We think of the word Lord as more kind of English royalty, right? I'm Lord Randolfo of Soquel, right? And but no, that's not the way it was used in the time of Jesus, and certainly in the Bible. Adonai, we translate that as Lord, but that was the word that was used instead of even saying God, and certainly not even venturing to say the name. So to say that I am, Jesus to say that he is Lord of the Sabbath means that he is equating himself to God. And Sabbath, what does it mean to be Lord of the Sabbath? Sabbath is a day to rest and to give thanksgiving to the Creator. In fact, it's even the seventh day when God himself rested. So it is also the unifying feast that has held the Jewish people together over the centuries. There's a famous story about a non-Jewish man being amazed about how long the Jews had kept the Sabbath and how they did that. And the rabbi responded, "We do not keep the Sabbath keeps us," right? And so it was a very identification. Now, back when I was a boy in the last millennium, stores were closed in mid-century America on Sundays. And you had to get your groceries really Saturday evening before 6 o'clock when stores closed. And people took the day off. Gradually got in the 60s, and more stores started opening until you have this phenomenon now where we have things open all the time. But the result of that is either our rest day is a shopping, football, baseball day when we're not in COVID and we can have those sports. It's a barbecue day. It's a day maybe to sleep in, to read the New York Times. But it's not really God's day. It's not really the day of the Lord. And we suffer. We might go to Mass and then we come home and clean the kitchen, take out the trash, but we don't really spend any time with the Lord of the Sabbath. And it really is is it possible to put down that thing used to be called the phone, that powerful handheld computer? Can we take some time for quiet? I am the Lord of the Sabbath is quite a demand in and of itself, insofar as we are Christians and we proclaim Jesus to be Lord. So how do we do that in our lives? In general, I think one of the advantages, right, in the middle of all this trauma of the quarantine during the pandemic, is that everything is slowed down. You can't go and get a lot of things. I went to a store to get a printer, a large chain store, and there were rows and rows of printers, but there were nothing on the shelves underneath. And so It was kind of like the Soviet Union. I had my choice of a printer as long as it was the one they had. So, everything slowed down. It's a lot like that 50s in that sense. No things don't happen. You have to order things. You have to wait for them to be delivered. And I think maybe that can begin to get us into that pace for a Sabbath. That the Sabbath is, of course, the Saturday originally. The Sabbath of the Lord's resurrection, of course, is the eighth day, the new age, and so it's Sunday. But why don't we take some time? You might go pick citrus off your neighbor's tree. I'm not recommending that. But the point of that is to really be in the Sabbath, to really have that as a state and relaxation and calm and quiet, and just having the courage to be alone and to breathe deeply and quietly.
Amen.
Thank you.
You do speak to what is a very profound need that we all have. It's so profound that God gave it to us, this need and this reward of just a day off. And I think we were pointing out that in this terrible pandemic, we can use this time to restart our relationship with God, with our families, with our community. But by doing that, by really taking advantage of the time that we have, that many of us have right now.
And I think we were just commenting on it a little bit before we started recording, is that even though there are just a couple of us in a household, there are a few of us, because we are together so much, we need more alone time. It's just kind of, counterintuitive. But but what is God doing in this quarantine? How are we responding to that?
I think we need to get into a mindset where instead of thinking, we're waiting for this to be over with, and then God comes back, and then we go back to our routine. And I think as Catholics, to understand that God is always with us. God is here in all places, all times, to really try to use this time to find God, to see where God is in a pandemic, in a quarantine. And not thinking about the future when we'll be pious, but now when we will experience God in whatever way God manifests.
Yeah, that's
so
incredibly. Thank you.
So Randy, I just want to say thank you for joining us this weekend, and I hope to see you come and do more recordings with us and to hear more about Our Lady Star of the Sea. And please give our love to Kathy.
Thank you. And the same to Anne. Bye now.
All right. Have a good day, everyone.